Should I lend a hand? Doki! Hello fellow anime geeks and welcome to another review on my quest to try every anime series that I can. Here's my usual 4-question structure, and today I have a manga adaptation for you guys, Fantasy BISHOUJO Ojisan to, or Life with an Ordinary Guy Who Reincarnated into a Total Fantasy Knockout on Crunchy. The MAL genre tags are adventure, comedy, and fantasy, and the MAL theme tags are gag humor, isekai, and magical sex shift, which is the most specific theme I've ever come across. It's really more of a plot summary. Usually I think this type of story is a gender bender, but I don't know if they're trying to start a more specific kind of thing, since that same season we also got Kenja Deshi, although that had a more a different sort of game avatar spin to it, and that light novel did actually precede the BISHOUJO OJISAN manga by 5 years. This is a fantasy adventure comedy with quick gag humor. I haven't been able to pinpoint the focus or demographic of side comics because they seem to publish everything from like action to yuri, so I can't really tell you the comedic subset for this, but I can tell you that it's not really the quick 4-koma style short gags of something like Nozaki-kun. This does have a sustained narrative, and the comedy slightly tapers off as the story goes on, and in my case, as the gravity of the situation set in. This is one of those comedies where the author sets an outrageous situation and then all of the fallout and consequences to that are hilarious, if you just don't stop and think about things very deeply. Because if a magical being showed up while I was in a drunken tantrum, took my childish what-ifs at my word, completely changed who I was, and then forced me to have lustful thoughts about my close friend I grew up with in an almost sibling-like relationship, I would be very disturbed. But don't worry, we got Isekai plotline. Our protagonists set out to defeat the demon lord and save the world, and hopefully they get to go home and return to normal afterwards. Oh, and they also have some pretty fun encounters along the way. The way this parodies not only those isekai tropes, but also just general anime-isms like the emotional character development flashback, the Chunibyo character, the cute, here, let me help you up pose was brilliant. Kapow! In fact, the comedy in general was well timed and well executed. That and the subject matter and tone reminded me of Konosuba, and the natural random way in which the characters were introduced and their uniquely funny personalities reminded me of Nozaki-kun, which is one of the funniest things that I've ever read. And I really loved this opening song. What is this intro song? There's also something about this humor that sort of captures some of the worst bits of society. I mean, take a guy who's whiny and average and unaccomplished, and he's pathetic, but then make him a girl and she's cute and endearing. However, I can't really say that this anime was very worthwhile to me. It felt like, much like with Leadale, I felt like I kept watching it to see where it was going, but then at the end I didn't feel very satisfied with having watched it or with the ending. Much like Tokyo 24, this felt like it had a very specific message. The tropes and the conflicts were not universal, and when it feels like the author is posing a question and then also giving you the answer, it's propaganda. Therefore, the characters don't have to be cool or relatable, they just have to fit their role within telling that message. So our protagonist ends up being this jealous, petty, manipulative person who resents his best friend because of his accomplishments that he's worked really hard to achieve. Now, I don't know about you, but tearing someone down so that you can feel better about yourself is not the kind of behavior I want to celebrate. We want characters that inspire us to be something greater than ourselves, not relish wallowing in our own self-pity in an ungrateful state of unperceived privilege. And in case you're wondering if this is too much to ask from a simple gag comedy, Plaintiff's Exhibit A. Also, this is a fairly new ongoing manga, so while this does have a satisfactory story arc ending, don't expect a full complete story like Shinchou Yuusha or Kemono Michi. But if you want a nice laugh and you don't really care about all that other stuff, the comedy in this is really good. And on that note, I'll catch you in the next video. Wait. What were those stats? Level 1. Unparalleled beauty. Troublemaker. Cursed